Let us discuss once again step number 3. Before that, let us discuss all the steps. See, in testing of hypothesis in t-test, we have to study 3 tests. First is test of significance of sample mean and population mean. It is known as one sample mean test. There are 5 steps in each of the test. First step is to set up the hypothesis. In that, we have to set up 2 hypotheses. One is null hypothesis, other one is alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis is denoted by H0. In that, we have to write there is no significant difference between our sample mean and population mean. That means we have to write the whatever the sample we drawn from the population, the mean of that population is something, let us say mu0. That is our first assumption regarding population parameter, or you can say that h naught mu equal to mu0. So hypothesis, it is also known as assumptions, but there is some logic in that in assumption. So any logical assumption is known as the hypothesis, that is true. Okay, alternative hypothesis, that is opposite of this null hypothesis. Whatever the conclusion regarding the claim, by putting equal to sign here, you have to put sign in such a way that whatever the conclusion regarding claim in H naught, opposite of that should be logically interpreted in H1. In that way, we have to decide H1. Okay, then after this, test statistic, step 2, test statistic. And the formula is under H naught. It is always advisable to write under H naught. That means if your H naught having equal to sign, then this formula you can use. So under H naught, T equal to x bar minus mu upon standard error of x bar. Standard error of x bar is nothing but standard deviation of sampling distribution. And what is sampling distribution? The distribution which can be generated by using all positive possible samples is known as the sampling distribution. There are 2 formulas of standard error of x bar, s upon root n or s upon root n minus 1. You can use any of this formula, you will get the same answer. Only the calculation of s is different. In this, we have to divide by n minus 1, whereas here we have to divide by n. So if we divide here by root n, then in s you have to write n minus 1. And if we write here root n minus 1, then in s you have to write n. So that is the difference. This is known as unbiased estimator of sigma. If we divide it to s equal to, if we write this formula in which we divide sigma xi minus x bar the whole square by n minus 1, then it is known as unbiased estimator of sigma. And this is known as bias estimator. So if you use this formula, your formula for t becomes x bar minus mu upon s upon root n minus 1. And if we use this formula, then formula of t becomes x bar minus mu upon s upon root n minus 1. And we are going to use this formula only now onwards. This formula only now onwards. Okay. And how to calculate s here? It is root sigma xi minus x bar the whole square upon n, or you can write sigma xi square upon n minus sigma xi upon n the whole square. And by putting all the values in this formula, we get calculated value. We calculate value of t, so it is known as the calculated value of t, which is denoted by t cal. Here you have to write degree of freedom. Formula for degree of freedom in this particular question is n minus 1. What is the meaning of degree of freedom? Degree of freedom is the number of independent observations. And our last step means of last lecture is step 3, level of significance, that is alpha. It is either you have to consider 5% or 1% if nothing is mentioned. If it is clearly given in the question, take 10% level of significance, we don't have any option, we have to take alpha equal to 10%. Level of significance is nothing but the probability of type 1 error. There are 2 type of error, type 1 error and type 2 error. Type 1 error is reject your H0 when it is true. And type 2 error is accept the H0 when it is wrong. So that is type 1 error and type 2 error. Here we consider only type 1 error, that is in step 3 alpha. is we have to consider, that is either 5% or 1% if nothing is mentioned. Now if any question any of you have, let us discuss that one, and then we will start the next step of test, step 4. But let us discuss if you have any doubt, any problem to anybody. Any problem to anybody? Okay, so let us continue. Step 4, which is known as critical values. Critical values or tabular values. It is also known as rejection region. So see here in step 4, you have to write like this: at alpha, level of significance equal to alpha, at level of significance alpha, that is either 5% or 1% if nothing is mentioned. At level of significant alpha, degree of freedom, that is either n minus 1, so there is a formula n minus 1, so n is, let us say, 10, so 10 minus 1, that means 9. And for the given test means here two tail test or one tail test. So one tail means either left tail test or right tail test. So at level of significance, let us say alpha equal to 5%. Degree of freedom, let us say n is 10, so 10 minus 1, 9. So alpha 5%, degree of freedom 9. And let us say our test is two tail test. So at level of significant alpha, degree of freedom v, and for the given test, from the T table, we get tabulated value of t. We get tabulated value of t. Tabulated value of t, which is denoted by t tab. So by using t table, so here you have to use t table. Now the question is, where is t table? So statistical tables are already available in market, just you have to purchase it, and the cost of that is not more than 10 rupees. You can go and to any of the stationery book and ask about the statistical tables, you will get that table. But right now I am providing you the table in PDF file, so there is no question for asking about the table to go outside and asking about the table. I will upload the tables. See, there are number of tables are possible, and this is table 7, area in both tails combined for students t test. The name of this is students t test, that means t test only. So this is the table for two tail test. Now see how to see, let us assume our alpha equal to 5%. So example, if alpha equal to 5%, degree of freedom equal to, let us say, 10 minus 1, 9, there are 9 observation, and for two tail test, and for two tail test, t tab Now see alpha, this table is for two tail test. This table is for two tail test. So our first criteria for two tail test is satisfied. Degree of freedom is 9. So see this 9 is there. Degree of freedom is 9. Okay. And degree of freedom 9. This is for 0.10 means 10%. This is 0.05 means 5%. This is 2% and this is 1%. So we are going to discuss about 5%. So C degree of freedom 9 and 5%. The value for that is 2.262. So that you have to write here. So 2.262 over. So only this you require to do in step 4. See, if there is a question how to find out this value, so it is beyond of our level to find out the value here in this table. How to get this value 2.262? It is very difficult. It's require lot of other knowledge to get the idea about how to obtain that. And the one of the most important knowledge we require to find out the answer for this question is about integration. With the help of, and not normal integration, with the help of integration it is possible to find out value. But it is right now it is available, so we don't want to go in regarding this particular value. Just you have to use and you will get the answer in
सर
exam.
ये
Maybe
p वैल्यू ही है क्या?
no, it's not p value.
लाइक p वैल्यू टाइप का ही फाइंड किया हुआ है क्या? p वैल्यू की तरह फाइंड होती है क्या टेबुलेटेड वैल्यू?
In p value alpha is already decide, sorry, in t table if alpha is known then you can find out the tabulated value. P value can be obtained in reverse way. Once you have a t cal, by using t cal you can obtain the p value. It's a reverse. If your two tail test is there, listen carefully. If two tail test is there, degree of freedom is 9 and your TCAL is 2.262. Once again,
ओके
for two tail test, degree of freedom is 9. Degree of freedom is 9. Two tail test is there, and your your T tab, sorry, TCAL, I'm sorry, TCAL is 2.262. In that case, your P value is 5%.
ओके
Do you
अंडरस्टैंड.
follow this?
हाँ समझ गया मैं. थोड़ा रिवर्स प्रोसेस है इसका एग्जैक्टली.
Correct. P value is the
इसका
reverse
रिवर्स
process.
प्रोसेस
Here,
लाइक.
alpha is known. See, P value is nothing but almost level of significant only.
ओके समझ गया.
Okay. P value.
बेसिकली ये टी टेबुलेटेड वैल्यू और अल्टरनेटिव हाइपोथेसिस पे बेस है.
Correct. ये बताओ तो P value.
अल्टरनेटिव हाइपोथेसिस
What is the full form of P value?
फुल लाइक पी वैल्यू की डेफिनेशन सिंपली
नहीं, full
ये है
form
कि
of P
मैक्सिमम ऑफ.
listen.
फुल फॉर्म तो मुझे नहीं पता. फुल फॉर्म नहीं पता.
फुल फॉर्म ऑफ पी वैल्यू इज प्रोबेबिलिटी वैल्यू. प्रोबेबिलिटी वैल्यू, बस इतना ही. पी वैल्यू प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ टाइप 1 एरर, उसको ही पी वैल्यू बोलते हैं.
मिनिमम टाइप 1 एरर.
करेक्ट. वो डिटेल में यस. समझ में आया?
हाँ समझ गया.
Okay. So now we have T-tap 2.262. Depends on the degree of freedom, alpha, and whether it's one tail or two tail. Now there is a question. Instead of two tail, if it is one tail, then what to do? So in some of the book, table of one tail is given. It is right now. This is the table of two tail. Table of one tail is not given. In many of the book, table of one tail is given. But from the table of one tail you can obtain the value of two tail, or from two tail you can obtain the value of one tail. Once again, from one table, either it is for one tail or two tail, you get the answer for two tail or one tail respectively. That means if we have a table of two tail, so from the same table you are able to find out for one tail what to do. Just you have to multiply your alpha by 2. Means your alpha is 5%, then multiply it by 2, then it becomes 10%, and you have to see the degree of freedom 9, and alpha is you have to consider as 10%, and you have to see this value, and that is 1.83. So this 1.83, if it is one tail test, if alpha equal to 5%, degree of freedom is 9, and for one tail test, T tab. Now the question is, we don't have a one tail table. This is two tail table. We don't have one tail table. So either you can purchase one tail table or learn the one thing. From two tail table, if you want to find out the answer for one tail, you have to multiply your alpha by 2. So instead of 5%, you have to see in the column of 10%. So you have to see the column of 10% instead of 5%, and appropriate degree of freedom. Appropriate degree of freedom is here 9. So 1.83 or 833, that is the value of T tab for degree of freedom 9, alpha 5%. Alpha 5%, degree of freedom 9. But it is two tail and this is one tail. But from the two tail you can obtain the value of one tail. But you have to use the column of 10% instead of 5%. Is it clear to everybody? In step 4 you have to write only one sentence. This sentence. This at level of significant alpha equal to 5%, degree of freedom n minus 1 equal to 9, and for two tail test or one tail test we get T tab equal to, that's it, and that value is obtained by using T table. So that is our step 4. Any problem to anybody here? And now last step, step 5, decision. Last step, decision for two tail. For two tail test. See, always it's better to draw the T-curve. T-curve is always like normal curve, means bell shape, like this. Because it's two tail. Here T equal to 0. Here, because it's two tail, and let us assume your alpha equal to 5%. So you have to divide your alpha by 2. So alpha by 2, that means 2.5%. So here you have to write 2.5%. Here also you have to write 2.5%. So remaining this is 95%. This is 47.5%, and this is also 47.5%. And here you have to write the value if it is two tail test, and let us assume your degree of freedom is 9 here. So here we get the value because it's two tail test, alpha is 5%, alpha 5%, degree of freedom 9. So the value is 2.262. That is the value. This one 2.262. And here you have to write minus 2.262. And this area 95%, it is known as acceptance area. This is acceptance area. And if your T cal is between this, means if T cal lies between minus 2.62 minus 2.262 to plus 2.262, then H naught is accepted. Better word is not rejected. Not rejected means loosely speaking accepted. Loosely speaking accepted. So if TCal lies between this, then it is accepted. If it is beyond that, means if it is TCal is beyond this here in this area or in this area is known as rejection area. If our TCal is in rejection area, then we have to reject the null hypothesis, and if it is in acceptance area, then we have to accept the hypothesis. Once again, if my alpha equal to 5%, degree of freedom equal to 9, and for two-tailed test, we get the value of t-tab 2.262, and that 2.262 you have to write like this. And if your tcal is any value between this two, minus 2.262 to plus 2.262, then our H naught is not rejected, otherwise it is rejected. This is regarding two-tailed test. For right tail test, if in right tail test you have to make the area right hand side, only right hand side is the rejection area. Here t equal to 0. Okay, this value t tab 2.262 is also denoted by t alpha by 2 and v. T alpha by 2 and v, you can write this like T alpha is what? 5%. 5% divided by 2 means 2.5%, means 0.025, and V degree of freedom is what? 9. So the value is 2.262. So this is the symbol. Okay, same way for one tail test, one tail means right hand tail right now. So you have to write this is alpha, let us say 5%. So this is remaining, that is 95%. This is acceptance area. This is rejection area. So this is T tab. Now if T cal is more than, if T cal is here, means if T cal greater than T tab, then H naught is rejected. And if T cal less than T tab or less than or equal to, then H naught is accepted. Better word is not rejected. And this is denoted by here, if it is one tail test, then you would write T alpha V only. That means T 0.05, and here you have to write 9, and we get this value T tag. And if T cal is greater than that, then we have to reject the null hypothesis. So if in this rejection area, if your T cal is fall, then we have to reject the null hypothesis. And same way for left tail test. You have to draw the normal curve, that means here T curve, here in middle T equal to 0. Here you have to write, because it's left tail test, here you have to write this is the rejection area, alpha equal to 5%. This is T tab, and this area is acceptance area. So if here whatever the value here if all these values are more than t tab, so if t cal greater than t tab, then h naught is accepted. Better word is not rejected. And if t cal, or you can write here greater than or equal to, less than t tab, means t cal is here in this area, then h naught is rejected. So it is opposite. See, in right hand side, if t cal greater than t tab, in right tail test, if t cal greater than t tab, then we have to reject. Here, it. Check it. If t cal greater than t tab, this one, t cal greater than t tab, then we have to reject. Here, t cal less than t tab, then we have to reject. So that is the difference. But it's better, instead of learning in this way, better to draw the graph. If your left tilt is, then t tab is in left side, right hand tilt, then t tab is in right side, and for two tilt is t tab, this both the values are values of t tab. This is t tab, this is also t tab, and if your value lies between tab, then it is accepted, otherwise it is rejected. So here we have to take a decision regarding null hypothesis, whether we have to accept or reject. It depends on two tail test or one tail test, and in last step it depends on everything, tcal and ttab, and then we have to take a decision. So this is the way to solve the examples. Let us take one small example. It is not lengthy, not difficult, because it's our first chapter of hypothesis. We require to discuss this much time, otherwise it is not difficult. Let us start. Let us take one small example. Question number 5. An automobile machine is set up to fill 170 tablets in a bottle. A sample of 10 bottles was examined and the number of tablets in them were found. This test whether the machine is set properly or not. So we want to test whether the machine which fill 170 tablets, it's properly set or not, that we have to decide. So how to find out? Question number, in usual notation, in usual notations, here n equal to 10, there are 10 observation, mu equal to 170, that we want to check. Now let us find out x bar. First of all, x bar is sigma xi upon n is 10. Add these values, 168 plus 164 plus 166, add all that values, we get 1683. So it is 1683. You can check by adding all that values and you will get 168.3, that is our x bar. And let us find out s also. Now how to find out s? There are two ways. Either you can use this formula or you can use this formula. By using any of this formula you will get the answer. Let us use this second formula. So for that, this all values are known except this value sigma xi square. Just calculate sigma xi square and tell me. calculate sigma xi square. Take the square of each of these values and add. So 168 into 168. Let us put in memory. Then 164 into 164. Put in memory. 166 into 166. Okay. 166 into 166. Okay. 167 into 167. Then 168 into 168. Then 169 into 169. Then 170 into 170. Then 170 into 170 once again. Then 171 into 171. And 170 into 170. So total is 547657. 547657. So let us calculate 5476.7 minus, this is 168.3 the whole square, 168.3 into 168.3. So it is 28324.89. Let us do the calculation. Minus 5476.7. So it is 26,440.81. Let us take its root. Sorry, it's okay, it's positive value 26440.81. Let us take its root. So it is 162.61. 162.61. That is, I think there is some calculation mistake. Check it. Okay, let us continue. I think there is some calculation mistake. Let us continue. We will discuss it later on, whether there is mistake or not. Okay, now let us start to find out standard error first of all. Standard of x bar. So the formula is s upon root n minus 1 here. S is what? 162.61 divided by root 10 minus 1, that is 9. 162.61 divided by root 9, that is 3. So let us divide this by 3. It is 54.20. I think there's some calculation mistake. Just check it. Is there any calculation mistake? I think there's some calculation mistake. Check it. But this is the way to calculate. There must be some calculation mistake here.
सर समेशन ऑफ एक्स स्क्वायर में मिस्टेक है.
क्या मिस्टेक है बताओ तो.
अभी एक बार क्वेश्चन करना, मैं एक बार वापस से रीचेक कर लेता हूँ. वो समेशन ऑफ एक्स स्क्वायर आएगा 283291.
Okay, let us change
28
28
3291
3291.
91.
Okay. So it is 283.
डिवाइड करना बाकी है आंसर.
Now subtract this two.
4.21 और उसका रूट 2.05.
4 point. Okay,
4.20 और 21.
Okay. Then
और 2.05.
2.05. Okay. Do the calculation. Divide it by 3.
Divide it by 3. Divide it by 3.
Yes.
Divide it by 3.
Yes.
Divide by 3. Okay. 0.668.
Okay. So this is your standard error of x bar. Now what you require to do? Step 1. You have to write h naught. Only you have to write this thing. H naught mu equal to 170. And h1. Because nothing is given, you can write not equal to 170 over. This is two-tailed test. Step 2. Under h naught, formula t equal to x bar minus mu upon standard error of x bar. X bar is 168.3 minus 170 divided by 0.68. Do the calculation. Minus 1.7 divided by 0.68. Do this calculation. 1.7 divided by 0.68.
Minus 2.5.
2.49 or 2.5. Same thing.
Yeah.
Either you can write 2.5 or 2.49 or 2.51. It's okay. All are very nearer to each other. So we can say that our TCal is minus 2.49. See, always here in this book you will get positive value because they said that you have to take absolute value always. Like this question, you have to write always positive value. Here modulus is there, but we will write without modulus. So our TCal is minus 2.49. Here degree of freedom V equal to 10 minus 1, 9. Okay, step 3. If nothing is mentioned, you have to write alpha equal to 5% over. This step 3 is over. Step 4. At alpha equal to 5%, degree of freedom equal to 9, and for two-tailed test, from T table we get T tab equal to 2.262 that we already discussed. So just you have to write 2.262. That is your step 4 over. And in step 5, because it's two-tailed test, you have to draw like this, and here you have to write t equal to 0. Here you have to write minus 2.262. Here you have to write plus 2.262. And see your TCal. Our TCal is 2.5. 2.5. 2.5, but it is negative 2.5. Minus 2.49. So minus 2.49, it should be here in this rejection area. So minus 2.49, it should be here in rejection area. So we can say that therefore H0 is rejected. That is H1 is accepted. That is mu is not equal to 170. That is machine is not set properly. That is our final conclusion. Machine is not set properly. There is a big difference. There is significant difference in 163 8.3 and 170. That is our final conclusion. We will discuss in detail in our next lecture. So I think this is enough for today. Just to go through this, and if you find any difficulty, we will discuss in next lecture. Right now I have to go, so we will discuss all your doubts in next lecture.